Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined for the first time in a very long time by my good friend Adam Smith. How are you doing today, Adam?
I'm good, Josh. Very good. Excited to be in Liverpool, a city I love. Not quite so excited about what's happening on the pitch at the moment, but yeah, nice to be alongside Stephen Smith, seeing Smigger, seeing some of the guys, seeing some of my old Matchroom friends here today, at the Box Nation show tonight. So yeah, it's different, right? It's just good being healthy, being back working, and yeah, one day at a time, one step at a time. But I feel good today. Thank you for asking. I'm just grateful to be here, really.
We won't talk about what's happening on the pitch and what happened on Wednesday night, but we will talk about what's happening in the ring tonight. Haney Rankin back out. Huge opportunity for her. Yeah,
massive. We're really pleased at Summit to be working with Haney. Yeah, look, I'm really enjoying my role as the director of boxing talent at Summit, and Haney Rankin's someone I've known for a long time. I was a little bit in the other corner when she fought Savannah Marshall because I mentored Savannah at Sky, but you know, Hannah's got so much resilience. Former world champion, of course. She's done brilliantly in the ring, but also what she does out of the ring that people don't quite know or quite realise, I think. Yeah, you know, she's a farmer, she's a classical musician, she's a brilliant pundit, commentator. She's going to be in Paris working on the Olympics, and yeah, we're here tonight to cheer her on, her fight back after the Terry Harper defeat, and she's back in great shape. I've been down to see her in the gym, saw her earlier today, and she's looking ferocious and fit and firing, and I expect her to win this Continental belt tonight and look to get back in for a world title tilt maybe in the autumn. So yeah, it's brilliant, and it's great being able to cheer someone on I've respected for a long time in the sport, and she's such a great young woman. So yeah, Haney Rankin all the way.
You mentioned Savannah there. She's trading the boxing gloves for MMA gloves I'm not sure, in a couple of weeks' time. It's exciting times for her, and a switch of style, a switch of sport. How, from when you saw her, and you've known her a very long time, did you feel this move would happen at any point?
No, I think it would certainly be unexpected a couple of years ago. June the 8th in Newcastle, she's back. She's chasing Clarissa Shields. She wants that rematch or the third fight or wherever we're up to, the amateur, the pros, and yeah, Clarissa's gone into the cage, into the MMA world, and I think Savannah wanted to challenge herself and go the same way. I still speak to her a fair amount. I saw her at ringside in Sheffield last week at the big GBM show. I didn't get to chat to her because she was watching Huey. But yeah, I look forward to seeing her. I think we have a show on that night, June the 8th, so I'm not sure I'll be able to get to Newcastle, but I'll definitely be seeing her in the build-up. And yeah, she's an amazing athlete. She's been a phenomenal boxer. With Peter Fury, her dreams have come true. You know, reigning supreme in the world, both as an amateur and as a professional in the boxing ring. Now she wants to try something different, so I'm really excited about seeing how this story, or where this story goes, and how she does. Yeah, she's a friend of mine more than anything, so yeah, very excited for her.
Boxing's a really busy space at the moment. I want to talk to you about last weekend in Ryan Garcia and Devn Haney. Garcia fooling the world, as it's been put, making he was a huge star already, but making an even bigger star himself in the process. How big of a star is Ryan Garcia right now?
Massive. I mean, millions added, I guess, to his Instagram following. I think he had 10 or 12 before we even started. Yes, a really wild, controversial build-up, and rightfully so. People were asking questions about what state of mind he was in, the mental health assessments. I wasn't around him, so we can't commentate. You're not around somebody, but it looked pretty sketchy, and especially the weigh-in and everything. And then actually, I thought the way he fought, the ring walk, and sort of stood off Haney at times. It was erratic. He was brilliant when he caught him and seemed to hurt him a lot with that left hand. But a strange performance, but a brilliant one. So yeah, did he fool us? You know, I think he's always going to be a sort of controversial and a character, live wire, that's going to live like that. I remember we had a fella over here, not from Liverpool but from Manchester, a guy called Michael Gomez, who was pretty unpredictable and crazy. You weren't quite sure what was going to come out of his mouth next, and he was a great fun fighter to watch as well. So I love the fact that the Ryan Garcia story is lighting up boxing. You know, he's a great young kid, and Devn Haney's a fantastic fighter as well. I mean, how will he come back from his first loss? He was brave, getting up time and again. I think he deserves a lot more credit and courage for his performance than I think people are giving him. Everyone's talking about Ryan Garcia, but I thought Haney, you know, he earned his stripes as well in there. It was a great night. It was a bizarre fight, but a magnificent one for boxing. It's all happening in the sport at the moment. And yes, Ryan Garcia is, well, if he was a superstar before, what is he now? A mega star. He's certainly, you know, hitting the young and all the casual fans now. So it's great for boxing.
The next steps for Ryan Garcia, he's opened so many windows. It could be a tank rematch. I know Ennis has been mentioned. Conor Benn's been mentioned as a possible fight as well. Obviously, at the current stage, would have to happen overseas. But what do you see as the next logical step for Ryan Garcia?
Yeah, obviously, from a British standpoint, or from knowing Conor Benn for so long, it would be fascinating to see him in the ring with him. I know there's been a lot of back and forth there. Ennis is a great fighter, and he's a great addition to this stable. It's a fantastic signing. I think he's really, really good. I like to see the rematch personally. I think at an agreed weight. I think, Devn was. I mean, he was in control for 3 or 4 of the rounds and looked really good, but I think the weight probably did. I'm not taking anything away from Ryan's performance. He was fantastic, and his speed and power were just too much for Devn to deal with at times. But I'd like to see the fact he didn't make the weight, and I'd like to see them, regulated at a weight and an agreed weight that they both can do. You've got to have the 8th fight. 3 each in the amateurs, and now 1 to Garcia. Amidst slightly controversial circumstances with the whole build-up and the weigh-in and how the fight unfolded. But Garcia is the top dog at the moment. But I'd like to see the rematch and see if Haney can equal the score.
Heavyweight division's in a fantastic place at the moment. Your old man Anthony Joshua back in a position where he's ready to claim that world title once again. You have full belief that he can do that again?
I do. I really like AJ under Ben Davison. I think that's a really good match. I went over to Saudi for the Otto Wallin fight, and people now can say, oh, Wallin wasn't good enough and he didn't do anything, but let's look at AJ's performance. He executed a perfect game plan under Ben Davison. He did exactly what Ben asked him to do. His jab was back, good body shots. He looked like a confident, solid AJ again. Back to basics a little bit, but back to really, really strong fighter. And again against Ngannou, the same. Fantastic knockout, delivering punches beautifully. I like his timing. I like his accuracy. I like his momentum. I would have liked to see him fight earlier. I'd like to have seen him fight in June or July and kept that regularity going, but I think it's September now. So, look, he's maybe going to fight the winner of Dubois and Hrgovic. Maybe he'll fight the winner of Fury and Usyk. I know there's a rematch clause, but who knows? I mean, the Fury and AJ fight has got to happen. Wembley's being talked about as a venue for the Saudis at some stage this autumn. So, who knows where it's going to go? First of all, we got the 5v5. Obviously, we've got the big undisputed Fury Usyk match in on nearly 3 weeks, just for a blimey, is it 3 weeks now? And then 2 weeks after that, June the 1st, will give us a little bit more with Zhang and Wilder and Dubois and Hrgovic. So let's wait for that all to unplay, see how we are early summer, and then AJ, I'm sure, will have one of those big names for his next fight. I can see him becoming a world champion again, 3-time. Wow. Yeah, I think he's back to his best, and I think he'll be a force for any heavyweight on earth at the moment.
You talk about you would have liked to see him fight sooner. I think there's a lot of whispers about the Hrgovic fight for the IBF title. Is it a risk waiting around and seeing what happens with firstly that fight and the Fury Usyk fight?
Well, everything in boxing is unpredictable. I mean, how many people said Ngannou would knock Anthony out? I mean, a lot of people did. Some people gave AJ. Probably most thought AJ on points. I don't think many would have predicted a 2-round demolition job. So boxing can be also. I mean, Deontay Wilder, Joseph Parker. No one saw that coming. Joseph Parker's been absolutely brilliant. Boxing, you never know. I mean, Fury turning up against Ngannou in that condition and that performance. I think it's just one step at a time. AJ can just sit back, relax. I saw him do a piece in This Week, which is the junior kids paper, which is fantastic. So he can do a few things like that at the moment, keep himself ticking over in the gym. Great to see him back on top, Anthony. Obviously, we go back a long way. And yeah, he'll get his shot at the world title, whoever that is. And I hope that the Fury fight happens, because it's the fight that every casual sports fan in Britain wants to see, and we need to have that before they both call it a day. If not once, twice, maybe even 3 times. AJ looks back. How much has Fury got left? He's got the job to do in 3 weeks' time. You know, he's the favourite against Usyk. Obviously, a Tyson at his best, bigger, arguably as skillful. I mean, Usyk is an incredible fighter and a phenomenal technician. So it's difficult in skill set there, but he is the smaller man. So both at their very best, you've got to lean towards Fury. But is he at his best on last performances? No. So we'll see. And I'd like to see, you know, Tyson against AJ, as everyone would, happen, you know, within the next 9 months.
Final thing from me, you mentioned Fury and Usyk there, the size difference. The more I speak to people, the more different opinions I seem to be getting. Where do you stand?
I think it's waking up one morning and thinking one, and then the next the other. I think it's a really, really good fight, and it should be. Undisputed belts, first time since Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield, and that was for 3. This time I think there's 7, 8 on there. I mean, the belts just keep going. There's Ring Magazine, there's all sorts of belts being designed. It's all the treasure. That's what's important. It's an undisputed fight between 2 unbeaten great fighters in their own right. Whatever people say, there's huge amount of respect between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk. Yeah, about the cut, there's all sorts of, you know, kidology and things going on, psychology between the camps, but they both know. And I know Tyson Fury believes he'll win, Oleksandr Usyk believes he'll win, but I bet when they go to bed at night, they're not 100% certain. It's a very, very good fight. And yeah, I lean at their very best. You've got to lean towards Tyson Fury because of the size. But as I said, I don't know whether Tyson is at his very best. 3 very hard fights with Wilder. You've got the Ngannou performance too. You look at Usyk, he had trouble with Dubois at times, especially around the body. But Usyk at his very best, Tyson at his very best is it's a majestic fight. And it's hats off to Turkey and Dr. Rakan and everyone in Saudi for getting it on. I can't wait for it. Is it going to be exciting? Is it going to be a chess match? I don't know, but what I do know is it's going to be close. I think Usyk's got to get into a rhythm very quickly. Otherwise, Fury's going to manhandle him around, and it could get tough for Oleksandr in there. But people thought Usyk had no chance against AJ, and look what happened. So it's a difficult one to predict, and I'm not surprised you've had people saying different things at different times. And also the layoff as well. Who's that affected more? Tyson looked in amazing shape when I saw him a couple of weeks ago. Mentally looked really, really sharp. Oleksandr, I've not been around, but I've heard incredible things. So yeah, expect a fantastic fight, which is what it should be on May the 18th. The world should stop for this fight. I really hope they do.
Adam, pleasure seeing you, and pleasure seeing you look well as well.
Cheers, Josh. Take care.